transportation, my medicine, and my fun. And I guess my favorite form of art on top of that.
Of all the sports that I do, I love cycling the best.
It's my vehicle. I also take it just for like joyrides. Like, it helps me to be happy.
I mean, it's my primary means of transportation for 8 months out of the year, 8 to 9 months out of the year, depending on the season. So, groceries, moving things around to and from work, and it's been really therapeutic for me. A lot of times when I've been struggling with post-traumatic stress, getting out on my bike has helped to blow the cobwebs away from my mind and just get me out there and get me moving. It also helped me to regain my health. I've lost 80 pounds in the last year.
I use my bike to go grocery shopping, to get to work, to go visiting people, to run errands.
When I cycle, I would like it to be respectful and aware. I would like to see education so that everybody's aware of their responsibilities and their rights and what they ought to do and what they ought not to do.
The enforcement also is the other part of the education.
I want the experience to be safe for all road users, for pedestrians, for cyclists, for motorists too. That means changes to law enforcement and to infrastructure. I want to see it being made better. Trying to connect from one trail end to the next trailhead is like trying to figure out a jigsaw puzzle when you don't have a picture. I mean, the curbs are not cut in the right places. It's an exercise in frustration when you're in the largest city in Northern Ontario and we have one bike lane and one cycle track, and that's it. I mean, we have a lot of off-road trails, but to get there you have to use the road system, which doesn't have infrastructure in place for cycling.
If you're a commuter, somebody who uses your bike to actually do your day-to-day activities and business, you want to get from place A to place B as effectively and as efficiently as possible. I think what I would like to see is a minimum grid. So we look at all of our arteries that are both connecting arteries to our neighborhoods. So for example, from the city core to the valley or the city core to Chelmsford. And we look at our internal core arteries like the LaSalle's and Notre Dame's, and those areas where really the car speed and volume are so heavy that you really do need to have separate infrastructure for cyclists. And we need to lay down that minimum grid so that people can get from one end of the city to the other, from one neighborhood to the other, from their home to a business. I think what we need is a strong council that's going to do a few things. One is put in a complete streets policy so that when we do construction, we do accommodate all road users, including cyclists and pedestrians and transit users, both young and old, of all ages and all abilities. I think the second thing that needs to happen is that we really need to develop some strategies in the city to take a look at our traffic and how we deal with moving people, not just moving cars. There's something that's called transportation demand management. We need a senior person on staff. The third thing is you really do have to commit some actual budget dollars to infrastructure on a yearly basis, and it has to be accountable and transparent.
I also think that we should have consultation sessions, not just information sessions. Ask the community if that is what they really want. The way it happens now is they call an information session, and then if people say, oh, there's no bike lanes, they say, well, it's too late. You know, you can't call information sessions 2 weeks before it goes to tender. It has to be a process way ahead of that, and that really would solve a lot of the delays and the unhappiness that is happening right now.
Please see us as a viable form of transportation that is more beneficial than detrimental. It saves on gas, it saves the user money, it is a health promoting activity. The money spent on maintenance of roads would be significantly reduced. The healthcare costs would be reduced, both for physical ailments and for mental ailments. Carbon emissions would be reduced.
We should be leaders. We shouldn't be trailing behind the other northern cities. We can be out there with ahead of the pack and get things done right.